Whenever I woke up in the middle of the night, I would always see two black shadows. Shadows that only I could see. They were much taller than any human, and their eyes were always fixed on me. I started seeing them every night. But what haunted me the most was, why were they staring only at me?
It was the most horror incident of my life. I was a kid. I was just 8 years old when it happened. A horror I didn't fully understand back then, but it has stayed with me ever since. It was the summer break, June or July, when we went to my grandmother's old house to stay for the holidays. It was an old, large home. My grandparents lived on the ground floor, and on the upper floor lived my uncle, his wife, and their 4 kids. One night, very late, I suddenly woke up. We all used to sleep in the open courtyard, the sahan, which had no ceiling and opened up to the sky. From there, you could also see the balcony of the upper floor where my uncle's family lived. When I opened my eyes, everyone around me was sleeping. My grandmother, grandfather, my siblings, my mother, all in deep sleep, lying close together. But my eyes instinctively drifted up to the balcony, and I saw them. Just black shadows, one woman, one man, and a tiny baby in their arms. I assumed it was my uncle and aunt, and thought maybe their baby wasn't sleeping, and they were up trying to soothe him. There was no sound, not a single word. The entire scene was silent, like watching a movie on mute. Sometimes they would seem to talk to each other. Sometimes they focused on the child, rocking him, holding him. I couldn't see their faces. I thought it was simply too dark. All the lights in the house were off, after all. I eventually fell asleep, but the next night it happened again. Same time, same silent figures, same shadows, and again the night after, and again. 4 or 5 nights in a row, I saw the same thing. A man and a woman, shadowy and tall, holding a baby, silently moving in that balcony above us. On the 6th night, I decided to call out. The youngest child of my uncle, Noman, I thought it was him crying every night. So I called up softly, "Noman, why are you crying?" But no one responded. I called again, and again. Still, not even a glance. Not a twitch. They didn't look at me. They just stayed busy with the child, swaying him, playing with him. Now, I was fully awake, curious and wide-eyed. So I decided, why not go upstairs and stand with them in the balcony? I quietly got up from my bed and began climbing the stairs. I crossed the first landing. But as I looked ahead, it was pitch black. Not a single light anywhere. A thick, heavy kind of darkness. The kind that makes your heart beat too loud. Suddenly, I felt scared. I turned around and quickly went back to my place. I lay back down and drifted to sleep, staring at them. Next morning, I told my grandmother about it. I said, "Nanny, I think Noman doesn't sleep at night. Uncle and aunt are always up with him in the balcony." The moment she heard this, her face turned pale. She looked stunned. She only said, "From now on, you'll sleep inside the room." But that night, the heat was unbearable. Everyone, including my grandmother, ended up sleeping in the courtyard again. So I did too. That night, they returned. This time, I woke up and nudged my grandmother. I whispered, "Look, Nanny, there. They're back. They're playing with Noman again." She turned to look and then froze. Her body stiffened. Without saying a word, she grabbed me and rushed me into the room. She locked the door and made me sleep inside. The next day, we packed our things and went back to our home. But a few days later, a thought came to my mind, and it chilled me to the bone. My uncle's youngest son, Noman, he was 2 years old. He could walk and run and talk. But the baby I had seen in the balcony, he was no toddler. He was an infant, no more than 2 or 3 months old, wrapped in a white cloth, completely still, being rocked gently in their arms. And another thing, that balcony wall was quite high. Even a 6-foot-tall man wouldn't have his upper body visible over it. But the man and woman I saw, their chests were above the balcony wall. I could clearly see their upper bodies. They were at least 13 feet tall. Only now, after growing up, do I understand What I saw was not my uncle and aunt. They were never in the balcony at night. And later, I learned something even more terrifying. I wasn't the only one who saw them. Over the years, many members of my grandmother's family saw strange, shadowy figures in that house. They were not human. They lived there, hidden in plain sight. They were jinn, old residents of that house. And eventually my grandmother and her family left that house forever. But that black balcony and that silent baby in their arms, they've never left my memories.
This story was sent to us by one of our subscribers. A chilling incident from their childhood. If you've ever experienced anything paranormal or had a terrifying encounter, we'd love to hear it. Send us your horror story at our email address, and we might feature it on our channel. Thanks for watching.